Hey friends, we are out in the 2020 Telluride to do the installations of the different rotating car seats. I am a car seat technician, have been one since 2012, and unless you're the technician from the various companies represented here, I'm probably not going to read every criticism of my installation unless they're from the techs that work for the companies. So, starting with the CYBEX, this is going to be your most difficult installation of all, no question. So this was the piece that I thought was odd, and as you can see, it does overhang. It will make contact with the floor, but it is always going to be a bit of a lip. I wasn't sure if it was just in the store or if it would be that way on the vehicle, and it is true out in the car. So I'm gonna go ahead and spin the seat. In order to spin this seat, it has to be in its most upright mode. It won't rotate if the seat is too low, and as you can see, already I'm struggling with keeping it in its most upright in order to get it to spin. So not real thrilled about that. This is the most unique thing I've ever seen. So there is a belt tensioning plate under here for our seat belt, but there's a tool that's included to help you cinch the belt down. And to me, this is a little awkward. There's nowhere for this to rest that I can tell. And I could be doing this totally incorrectly, but this seemed to me to be the correct way to do it. So you're gonna, with most car seat installations, you're gonna route your rear facing belt. I'm not gonna do the latches. I'm gonna use seat belt because I always get a better installation with belt personally. Plus you would need to reinstall once your child gets to the weight that overwhelms the latches. So for all of these, we're gonna be doing a belt installation. So you'll buckle. The other thing that I thought was kind of wild on this is how tight the teeth are for the belt to fit in. So there are guidelines here where the belt needs to route under, and both pieces do need to route, and it's a pretty tight squeeze. So just sort of be aware of that. Once you get it routed, then you're gonna tighten. So I wanna pull this to make sure that this gets tight enough. And we want to shore up as much slack as we can, theoretically. We don't have to be crazy tight, but I need it relatively tight so that the seat's going to move less than an inch at its installation point. There's not a lot of seats that make me feel like I'm not super capable, but this one is definitely winning. Okay, so this is pretty tight. It's taut, almost. Now we want to push this guy down first. And then we're going to use this tool to shove it down and in. Woo! That was my own seat there. Now this tool, after it's locked down, goes back into its hidey hole. And then this piece would theoretically clip back on there. I'm not going to clip it on for now. Now I'll rotate the seat. We'll make sure that this piece is green, touching the floor, which means that it is. I'm pulling on it, it's not moving an inch. But the thing that I'm finding most surprising about this guy, you really have to pull on that backrest. Okay, now we're in reclined rear-facing mode. Let me put my 30-pound baby in here. It's not moving at the installation point, but there's still a fair amount of wiggle on the base. So this is technically a correct installation. Here's my 30-pounder. I'm not gonna buckle them in. The bigger thing is to see how it rotates. So what I would do is I would grab here, I would sit the seat fully upright, and I would spin it to take them out. And now putting them in. So it's actually easier when there's weight in it. When it's empty, getting the rotation to utilize is actually very difficult. So for me, biggest issue with the seat is an overly complicated installation and too much fussiness on the rotational aspect of it. but it is a good looking seat. The other thing for me is it's definitely very long nose to tail. Once we start incorporating the load leg that goes to the floor, it's a longer installation. So yeah, there's your CYBEX. Not one I'd recommend for grandma. Whew, okay.